The views and opinions of this broadcast do not reflect the views and opinions of Armed Media, New Productions, and its affiliates. Enjoy the show.
You're listening to Simply Kasy on Armed Radio, aired in over 60 countries worldwide. On today's show, we're going to be discussing business advice to help you grow your business on any budget. Also, lifestyle tips, and we've got some wonderful travel advice. So let's get started with the show.
Hello, everyone. This is Simply Kasy on Armed Forces. I keep wanting to call it Armed Forces Radio on Armed Radio Global, and we are in over 60 countries worldwide. And this is Wednesday, 9 o'clock my time, and 10 o'clock in Boston. So, hello everyone. Welcome to the show. So, let's get started today. There has been a lot going on in the world, and I'm going to talk to you about a subject that is actually very personable to me, and that is called bullying and abuse. Now, this is a very serious subject matter that's in the news right now. People are incredibly impassioned by this particular subject on abuse and on bullying, like that. So if you are watching me on YouTube or even on Facebook, actually I'm going to be on YouTube Live. I am on Spreaker as well as Tune in. You can listen to the show there. So if you are on my YouTube, hello, everyone there, all over the world. So let's talk about bullying. Oh my goodness, this is a really tough subject to talk about here. And how many small children who are actually listening or in the area there, you might want to, I'll keep it PG on the subject matter here. That's my promise to you guys with that. So what I wanted to do is kind of give you some statistics on bullying. And this is pretty insane. Bully victims are 9 times more likely to commit suicide. So words do hurt. And growing up, I was bullied. I had people, and if you've come from West Texas, you will know what this is. It is a cliche rock. A cliche rock is basically almost like a fossil rock that they have. It's almost like chalk too. But I used to have kids throw those rocks at me. I used to hit my head. I used to come home with blood in my hair and everything like that. Horrible thing. We as a society, we should tell our men and our women and young people that they're beautiful, that they're special, that they're important. Because those negative comments that we do tell these people do last a lifetime, and they are very hard to overcome. Now, we're going to talk about the message, which is a very serious message. Most people believe, a good chunk of people believe that committing suicide is they're being a coward. They're being weak. And the actual cause of it is because they've been bullied so much that they feel like there's no other option than to basically what they call an exit. It's like, I'm the problem. It is me. I am at fault. And the best thing I need to do is to exit. Not be here anymore. And when I was in elementary school, I actually had my class tell me that, why don't you kill yourself? And right in front of my teacher, too. And they did nothing. So I understand people's pain when they say that they want to commit suicide. But treating someone badly to the point where they want to end their life, that is the true problem there. Stop and actually think about what we're saying to other people before we say those words. Because our words, really do cause scars on people. emotionally, physically, mentally, I really think we should really think about what we have to say. And of course, I will tell you a really uplifting story. I had these people who threw cliche rocks at my head and used to bully me. Well, that was in my fourth grade year, because I was in a small town and I traveled, so I was a geeky kid. So I was a smart kid, and it was kind of frowned upon with that. I might have been like a Sheldon or something. I'm not exactly sure, but I was a nerd, and so the people who actually threw the rocks at my head, when it came to the sixth grade, they were in my class. And so we had recess together. They ended up becoming my friend, my best friend. Same person who was in the fourth grade, who was throwing rocks at me in the sixth grade, became my best friend, someone who I would call my sister. And we were best friends all the way up to adulthood. And at the end of the ninth grade year, she moved to Dallas-Fort Worth. We made a pact. We said, we are going to graduate together. Of course, I didn't know how that was going to happen, because I lived in the old city. She lived in Dallas-Fort Worth. Well, my senior year, or my end of my junior year, my dad tells me, hey, we are going to move to Dallas-Fort Worth. You will be able to graduate with your best friend. I was so excited. And it was the best senior year. I was only at the school for 1 year, but it was the best senior year, epic. The stuff we did, it was the memories we made, it was epic. And so I kept my promise, and, I was in her wedding, which was crazy, thinking that we were kids and now she's getting married. And then I was there when she had her children, and that was also crazy, because it was like, oh my gosh, we're having kids now. So that person who bullied me, who threw rocks at me, who put me down, became my best friend, which to me is like one of the greatest accomplishments. One of them that you can do is to take a foe, turn them into a friend. That is a huge accomplishment. And I asked her, I said, why did you bully me? Why did you throw rocks at me? And you know what she said? I don't know. It looked like it was fun. So she would tell me it was fun, and she doesn't know to throw rocks and bully me. Kids can be jerks. Kids can be jerks. So what we need to do is we need kids to be compassionate and less like jerks. And so let's go on to adult bullying, because it does happen, and a lot of adults do end up committing suicide. And so I want to bring you up some statistics here on adult bullying, and also on, domestic abuse. And so I'm going to bring up some statistics right here. Now, of course, I cannot talk today. I want to say happy birthday to Josephina, who's celebrating a birthday. I butchered the Marilyn Monroe song, so I will not insult you further with my Marilyn Monroe. There's something called elder abuse, and my grandmother actually experienced this, which caused her death. And we as a society, when a person becomes old or becomes disabled to the point where they have to have systems in every aspect of their life, they have a tendency to get taken advantage of, both financially, both physically. And we've seen so many videos of seniors getting beaten. My grandmother was in a nursing because she had fallen down the stairs, and so they were supposed to rehabilitate her. My uncle was in charge of my grandmother, so I had no say in this at all. And the nursing home he chose for her, basically, he would call me and Spears saying that it's been hours and she had to go to the restroom and they did not let her go to the restroom, to where she had to go to the restroom in her bed. She said it's been a week since she's had a shower. And so it was heartbreaking to see my grandmother going through this. And so I could not understand how a person see that this person needed to go to the shower, had no compassion for them. But then I see people saying libertards for liberals, and Republicans are this, and liberals are that, snowflakes and idiots and racists and this and that, all this political drama that's going on. So really look at your words, because there's good and bad in every political arena. So growing up in Texas is an incredibly Republican, conservative, Christian-based country. They do not, they're very, very, very strict on what they believe in, and they're very impassioned by it, to the point of violence sometimes. And Texas has had a reputation of being racist, of taking innocent people of color and dragging them behind vehicles because it was fun. They've been incredibly insensitive to animals, to other people. But then you see the good side of humanity. And during Hurricane Harvey, which I volunteered towards, see people coming out of the woodwork. You know, we use a word called redneck in Texas, and it's basically a country person. People say they're uneducated, but sometimes it's considered a slur, and sometimes it's considered a badge of honor. Like, I'm a redneck and everything, because they have that pride there. And you could see all these people coming with whatever they could find. It was like blow up, floaties for their pool. They were using that to save and rescue people. They were using any boat, paddle boats, inflatable boats, whatever they could do. Coolers, inflatable beds, whatever they could find to rescue people who were stuck, seniors who were stuck and could not get out. If you understand anything about Houston, they are incredibly close. They're incredibly close to the ocean, and they're incredibly close to the bayou. And those two areas have really deadly animals. They have alligators, and they have sharks, most likely bull sharks. Bull sharks can go in fresh and salt water. So you can better believe it. And you saw pictures of alligators in people's front yards, like literally right there in their front yard. So these people are walking in water, not knowing if there's water moccasins, not knowing if there's alligators, not knowing if there are bull sharks or anything in those where the roads are. They don't know what is there. They don't know where the sidewalk is or anything. And you have total strangers going about helping people in their time of need. And that is so heartwarming to me to see the true essence of American, the true essence of people, of human beings helping each other. And I cannot understand that a few months before, during Hurricane Harvey, we all were not Republicans. We all were not Democrats. We all weren't independents. We were human beings helping each other. It did not matter if that person was black, white, Chinese, Mexican, Iranian, Persian, you name it. It did not matter. They saw a person who needed help. They saw an animal who needed help. They helped those people. I wish that we as human beings would employ that spirit every single day and help people. Just think of what we could accomplish if we tossed off the bullcrap and actually thought of other people and actually did that spirit all the time. So think of the technology and the advancements in society that we could do. We might even be on the moon. We might be colonizing out in space because we've developed all of our attention, all of our focus on advancement of mankind as opposed to tearing ourselves down. Now, in a few weeks, we're going to experience the Winter Olympics. And there's something going on that I don't know what to think about this. I'm still trying to get all the information. We all know about North Korea, and we all know about Kim Jong-un. We know that he has a bullseye on America. America, once again, is like, hey, we're not going to put up with that stuff. We've got a bullseye on you too. So this is like a bit of head-to-head on this situation. Well, North Korea has joined forces with South Korea, who is hosting the Winter Olympics, so that they can create a team to go to the Winter Olympics and compete for Olympic gold medals and the medals of the Olympics. Now, North and South Korea for decades have been at each other's button heads. And if they can come together for a game, and possibly they're in talks of becoming one country again, not exactly sure how that's going to go about because you've got two separate ruling parties which would have to come together as one ruling party. I don't think either one of them wants to give up their seat. So I'm not exactly sure how that would go. And so, yeah, but I'm very encouraged by the teamwork. I'm a bit cautious about it, a little weirded out about it because of the animosity that they have towards the United States. I certainly don't want them to make this huge country to where they have more resources to hurt us because I think that if we as a society, we could just simply get along, that would be awesome. But unfortunately, we don't live in a utopian society, and as much as I've read that book, Utopia, and as where it was listening, watching, and reading about humanist movements and everything, I just don't think we as a society, we're so lost. We are not. I don't think we're capable at this juncture of being that, way. And honestly, I like the flaws in people to a certain degree. I don't like bullying. I don't like abuse. But every 7 seconds in this country, a man is abused. And I have a friend who last year, his ex-wife, basically cold-cocked him. And he was walking away. She was drunk and on drugs, and she basically cold-cocked him behind the head as he's walking away. She cold-cocked him. And she ended up getting arrested and hauled off to jail. And they dropped the charges on her and got away with it. Booked out of town. And, I remember him saying, people were teasing him, saying, oh, well, you're a guy. Why didn't you just do this? Why didn't you stalk her? He's like, because she's a woman, and I don't do that. And so, I have a tendency to be more harder on guys who are abused. And women are capable of abusing, and just as men are capable of abusing women. And it's not always physical. It's sometimes the words we say. It's sometimes our actions that is abusive. And I'm not saying if you call a person, oh my God, honey, you're so stupid. Okay, calling someone stupid is not right, but that's something that we as a society, it's just a slang word. Now, in society here, now if you call a person, oh my gosh, you're so retarded, you're fag, you're other things, everything, those are hurtful words. I watched a show called Just Jazz, and I'm going to do jazz hands because every time I do, they give money to a charity. And for the longest time, I didn't understand what transgender was. I didn't understand where she said that she has a girl mind and a boy body. I was like, you're a boy. But she looks like a girl. And so I've been learning a lot from Jazz and of understanding, because I was like, oh, I mean, is it Shakespeare where you dress in drag and everything? Because all the Shakespearean actors, they dress in drag. The guys dress in girls because girls were not a part of the theater. And I grew up in theater, and I don't know how they cast me with that, because I definitely, do not have boy features, and everything. So I had to bind myself just to flatten everything back. But I played a boy in theater one year in a Shakespeare play called, what was that Shakespeare? As You Like It was my first play, and it was a Shakespearean play. And I played a boy. I also played a girl, too, because I was part of the chorus. And so, so Shakespearean actors, they played both boys and girls. And so, and of course at Halloween, guys play girls and everything like that. We all get a good laugh about that. But in this country, every 5 seconds, a woman is abused. That's a big number, guys. We're talking seconds here. Right now, it is 9:23. Someone has been abused, male and a female. Children have been abused. Animals have been abused. I don't understand how a person can do that. My stepdaughter, it breaks my heart, and I'm glad I was there for her. Her mother, and if you, so sorry, I'm going to say a word that's probably not kosher on there, but her mother, at 7 years old, her daughter was 7 years old, called her the B word. We're talking B-I, the B word, slut, and a whore to a 7-year-old. A 7-year-old was told this in a restaurant by her mother. And her mother allowed her boyfriend to abuse her in a sexual manner and told her daughter, when her daughter came to her and said, this person did this to me, she goes, keep your mouth shut. Keep your mouth shut to the sexual abuse of her boyfriend so that she could keep her boyfriend. Her boyfriend was more important than her daughter. When she told me this a week later, that her mother told her to keep her damn mouth shut, and I'm so sorry I said that word on there, I told her, I said, you did the right thing by coming to me. You should never be ashamed to tell somebody what happened. We had to go to the authorities, have her tell her story. And her mother said, my daughter's lying. She just was doing this for attention. And then behind, the police was back and the CPS was back. She was telling us the truth, what happened. And I ended up recording those conversations. And unfortunately, Texas is flawed as far as the system goes. And her mother got a hold of her daughter again. And this time, she decided to drive. Her mother has an issue with being an alcoholic and uses prescription drugs. And she got behind the wheel of the car under the influence. This was after she had unsupervised visitations. For the first time, she ended up choking her daughter and getting kicked out of a restaurant. She then said, oh, no, you shouldn't have supervised visits again. So then she was like, well, the guardian ad litem was like, I'm so sick of this case, I'm going to allow you to have unsupervised visits. She drives drunk with her daughter in the car, crashes in my garage, to the point where the EMS had to be called, and she went to the hospital. She got away with it. Her daughter is now 16 and has psychological issues, an anger issue, because of everything she's gone through in her life. And We need to be a society that if a person comes to us and says they've been sexually assaulted, that we have the heart and the Christian heart and the sympathetic humanitarian heart say it is not your fault and you are so brave to tell us that this happened to you, because there's such a stigma against it, against telling people that they've been assaulted. I will tell you this. When I was 5 years old, my great-grandfather basically had me on his lap and started tickling me in areas that were my bathing suit area. I was watching the show Webster during that time where they had a show episode about dealing with assault. And it made me feel uncomfortable when he started tickling me in my bathing suit area, in my no-no zone. And if you don't know what a no-no zone is, it's your lady business. And it made me feel really uncomfortable. I jump up. This was during Christmas, and I locked myself in the bathroom. And my parents were like, why is she locked in the bathroom? What is going on? I didn't want to tell anyone because I felt like I would get in trouble. I felt like I did something wrong, and I didn't say anything. My brother told me, he goes, we need to do what like Webster did, and we need to tell an adult. So I told an adult. My parents were furious. Now, this was in the 80s. There wasn't a lot of action to be had. But when my parents and we were not allowed to come back to his house ever again. I never saw the guy ever again, my great-great-grandfather, ever again. He was really old, really feeble, and it was disgusting. Several years later, I was in the end of my 9th grade year. I was at a family reunion in Dixon, Illinois. And one of my cousins, who happens to be a pastor's son, we were in a forest setting because apparently the foresty park was named after them. It was like this huge foresty park, and there was like mountains and caves and things like that. And so there was like windy trails and other kids. And he's like, hey, do you guys all want to go on this windy trail? So all these kids and myself and my brother were going up and down this windy trail. Well, the guy, because I happen to be very large-chested. I've been large-chested for a very long time. Pretty much since my whole entire school year. I have always been that way. And we were walking down the path and everything, and I'm like enjoying this. He's like, yeah, the water's so clean, you could drink directly from the stream and all this other stuff. He grabs me, pulls me back, and I could feel things I shouldn't be feeling pressed against me. It made me feel really uncomfortable, obviously, because I was a young 14, 15-year-old child, so to speak, teenager. So I basically explained to him, I'm not comfortable with this, you need to back off. I ended up having to take a stick ground and whacking it with it. And I told my adults, and things happen. We need to be brave and tell people what's going on. So let's go into happier notes, because I want to talk to you guys about some travel tips that I find so helpful. So let's go to much more happier topics on here. But be empowered, be your truth, and talk to a person if something happens to you. Do not be afraid. You are braver than you know on that. And I applaud you if you tell people. So I am talking to you guys right now. We are all flying, and with the cold weather and flights being delayed, I want to tell you guys, if your flight has been delayed or canceled due to weather, have a heart. I know you're pissed. I know you want to just get home. I know you're tired. I know those things happen. But the airline personnel, they only get paid when they get up in the air for air travel. When they're at the gate, they're not getting paid. And they can't change the weather. They can't change the fact that the flight's been delayed or canceled. It's in your best interest that the reason why the flight's been canceled or delayed, because there's something out there that is potentially deadly to you, to where you won't make it to your destination, you'll be dead. So, thank them, saying, thank you so much for having my personal safety on your mind, that you keep us here. It's an inconvenience, but thank you for thinking of us. But people don't think of that. They're like, I want to get on that plane, I need to get on the next plane, and everything. You must have a heart on that. So, if your plane gets delayed or canceled, what can you do? Well, if it's icing and snowing like it has in Austin, yes, we did cancel all those flights yesterday, and people were pissed. What they usually do is they will put you up in a hotel. On some cases, you have to sleep in the airport. So that's why when you are packing your carry-on bag for winter travel, make sure you pack some things for worst-case scenario, which means pack your medication, pack something like a warm jacket or a pillow of some type or a blanket of some type so that you can sleep in a chair or on the floor at a hotel or not a hotel, but in the airport. Pack snacks, pack protein snacks, not candy, cookies, and all this stuff. Pack those too, but pack protein because you're going to need protein, your body, going at a good clip there. And take those protein bars. And I'm going to show you one of my protein bars because I actually did bring this. And I actually have done a YouTube video on, got other stuff in here too that's kind of fallen out. But, yeah, I've done a YouTube video on what's in my cooler because I take my cooler. I'm a real estate broker. I'm a writer. I am a notary with public. I travel. So I always want to make sure I have something with me. And I hope these people do join me as a sponsor because I do eat these. But it's this. It's a protein bar. And it has 13 grams of protein. And it tastes like mocha cream. It's really good. So you can eat that, and you get the protein that you need to sustain yourself. And you also get some sugar, and it tastes like candy. But you want to pack protein. You want to have water. So choose your food carefully when you pack your little food here. Airports have food that's this bar right here would have been $5 at the airport. And I think I paid 59 cents at Sprouts. So make sure you pack a lot of cash. Pack cash. Pack $20 worth of one. Pack 220, 210, and choose 5. Do this because some places, if the power's out, like what happened in Atlanta, they're not going to be able to take your credit card. So in order to pay for something, you might have to do cash. Some places only take cash. You want to make sure that you have enough money. So if you only put $10 in one, you're not going to have enough money if you're a family of 4. So make sure you pack plenty of money for all 4 of your family members or whoever's in the party. If it's just you, $20 might be enough, but think breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I might be incapacitated for a while. So carb-rich foods such as spaghetti, whole grain bread, and oatmeal help induce insulin secretion, which may minimize jet lag. Oh my gosh, jet lag is horrendous. I've had that. It literally feels like you've been run over by a bus. And you're so tired. It's like you're a zombie. You've been run over by a bus. You're grouchy. It's just, it's almost like all the energy has been drained out of you. I can't explain. It takes like 4 days to get over jet lag. At least for me, it does. When I go to Europe, oh my gosh, I at least have to have one day where I just try to get onto their time schedule, and I have to have a one day when I get back home to get back onto time. It's just a horrendous thing for your body to go through. Pack protein-rich snacks, such as peanut butter, such as crackers, cheese, yogurt, protein bars. And the reason why I'm saying protein, because it keeps you fuller longer. Sometimes when they say that they're going to serve a food and beverage on the airplane, sometimes that food is a pack of peanuts. And if you've got a peanut allergy, you're not going to be eating on that flight. So you might be hungry, and you're like, I'm only getting peanuts. I can't eat peanuts. I can't eat almonds. I can't eat this. So if you pack a protein bar, you can eat that as they're wheeling things out. Also, when you're in the airport, you can actually go to the different places and get water. I always bring a water bottle with me. I fill this puppy up. I bring provisions there so that I'm not spending so much money at the airport because it can be quite expensive. I was in the Miami airport, and the only choice of food I had was a sandwich, no lettuce or anything, or no salads or anything like that because that was closed, or Pizza Hut. And it was like a little personal pan pizza. It was so greasy. It's so greasy. I mean, it's like literally like grease. I ate the pizza, and because the sandwich shop had a line that was like wrapped around it. So that was the only choice: a sandwich that was $10, or a piece of pizza that was $5. So I went with a $5 pizza and everything. So make sure you pack a snack. Don't stuff your face with greasy foods, your McDonald's hamburgers, your Burger King, unless you absolutely have to. Because when you're up in the air, it's harder for you to digest food. So it could cause some indigestion. It could cause some awful feelings. It's just not the world's greatest thing. Also, when you are on a flight that provides you with an actual meal, you want to get your meal faster. And you can actually do this. You really can do this. Anybody, whether you have this requirement or not, you really can do this. Ask for a specialty meal. You will have to call your airline and say, I need to request a specialty meal. When you request a specialty meal, like vegetarian, gluten-free, kosher, or low sodium, you will be served first. So no matter where you are on that airplane and coach, you will be served first. And everyone else will be served. So you will get your meal first. You'll have longer to eat. You'll get your drink first. You'll have longer to drink. And everyone else will have to go. Because usually what they do is they start in the back of the plane and they move forward. Actually, they have two. They kind of move forward there. So it depends on where you're at. And I've been on an airplane where they've actually run out of food. So they've come to the middle and they're like, I'm sorry, we're out. Too bad. So, yeah. Now, also here, and I've got this list right here on my computer, want to stay hydrated. Hydrated, hydrated, hydrated. Drink water because caffeine dries you out. So if you're up in the air and you're drinking coffee, alcoholic beverages, coffee, soda, you name it, you're going to dry yourself out and you're going to feel dehydrated more. Now, if you're drinking water, also limit your fruit juices, number one, because it's a diuretic and it's going to make you go to the bathroom. Or number two is it can kind of dehydrate you out, and all that sugar is going to mess with your system too. So you definitely want to avoid that. And also, drinking caffeine accelerates jet lag, makes it worse. So alcohol, caffeine, all that stuff accelerates jet lag. So you don't want to do that. You can drink green tea, caffeinated drinks on the airplane, but I would limit it to just like one and drink more water. Drink coconut water, but I don't think airlines are going to offer it. But if the airport does, there's a couple airports that do offer coconut water. Coconut water is so hydrating. Electrolyte water. I'm not sponsored by these people, but I hope to be. But these people right here, I love this stuff. So stay hydrated. This water here has magnesium. It has different electrolytes. Hi. Oh, inhabitant. Hello from Austin. I see you. Stay hydrated here. When you're flying, wear loose-fitting clothing. Wear leggings that don't look like spandex. So wear leggings that look like jeans or really nice, khaki pants. I wear leggings. I want to feel like I'm in my pajamas when I'm flying. Wear leggings. Wear loose-fitting clothing. Wear a sports bra. Guys, I don't think you'll be wearing a sports bra, but ladies, wear a sports bra because you sleep in a sports bra. It's more comfortable. I went to Europe and I had a sports bra on. I was able to sleep in it, and then the next day because I didn't want to take my bra off and get into PJs on the airplane, so I slept in comfortable clothing that I'd be okay with sleeping in that would be like PJs, but they weren't. So usually they say wear layers, and then you can just take off the layers. I love my sports bra too. In fact, Lane Bryant is having sales right now. Buy one, get one 50% off, so I probably will be taking advantage of that. But, and also the Avenue too, all those places, Victoria's Secret, it's sale time. But, yeah, so they say layers because you take layers off and, kind of, put layers on if you're cold. The airplane, when you get up to altitude, it's 50 degrees in that cold. So if you don't have that layering, if you don't have something to bundle up with, you're going to freeze your nachos off. I bring a Snuggie because it has the sleeves so I can sit there and work on my computer, or I can do other things, and I'm not sitting here like over it. It's like you have the sleeves. A Snuggie is basically a robe turned backwards. Talk about that in my business advice column probably next week because we're running out of time. Pack a neck pillow or pack a pillow. I like to pack a pillow pet. My pillow pet is an OU. It's the OU Boomer Sumer horse that's from OU. And so you can kind of adjust him or something like that to where he's doing that, and it's more comfortable for me because I'm a side sleeper. So yeah, you want to do that. You want to bring earplugs. I like to bring airplanes. The reason why I love these things, I do not travel without them. I had a really bad, yes, exactly. I had a really bad problem. I was flying from Dallas to Midland, and my ears were not popping. Apparently I had a sinus infection. I didn't know it at the time. And I literally wanted to chop my head off. The pressure was so excruciating. It was horrendous. It was like, chew gum. I didn't have any gum. Pop your ears. Do this. Trying to pop your ears. And I could not pop my ears. And it was building up and building up. I thought my head was going to explode. But luckily the flight was very short. But it was a horrendous flight. So my parents found out about something called airplanes. You twist them in your ears. And what it does is they have the equilibrium in there, and it keeps your ears from popping. You're supposed to be able to put them in before you take off, and then when you're got to altitude, you can take them out. But whenever an hour before you're supposed to land, put them back in. I don't take our chance on it. In my ears, when I'm on the ground, they stay on until I land. Just because I want to make sure that I don't have any issues. So what they do is they keep your ears from popping. And you can put your headphones on and you can still hear your music. At least I can. So I keep those in. They're called earplanes. And I'll link them below. So I do that and I put earphones on, noise-canceling earphones. I have had used my Philips noise-canceling earphones. I've had Sony noise-canceling headphones. And I've had both noise-canceling headphones. All three of those sound the same, but they're in different price points. Philips and the Sony were $50. I bought them at Target. So you can get Target and Fry's. I've done it both. So another thing, bring an eye mask. Now I use the Cabela eye mask because it has that concaveness. I also have a Hello Kitty one that is concave, so you can blink whenever you're sleeping and do the random eye movement when you're asleep. And I put that on and have my headphones on, I'm out. So I can listen and be entertained. Bring an iPad. And I'm on my iPad right now. Do feet exercises because you can get deep vein thrombosis. I carry, and I actually do pack with me, what are called compression socks. They're actually compression socks that help keep your blood moving and prevent the issue where you can get blood clots. Now, flights that are over 3 hours, I always wear mine, but those are considered long-haul flights to me. Anywhere 3 hours is a long-haul flight to me. So anything like 2 hours, that's relatively short, but that's still a long-haul flight to me. An hour is like a short haul. Anything after an hour is long. Be out there for a while. Do leg exercises. Rotate your foot up and down, flex back and forth, and kind of stretch them out in that little area that you have. If you want to see what kind of space you'll have in coach, go in the back seat of your vehicle, and that's how much space you'll have. And then if the person leans their chair back, minimize that. bring a power pack. Now, for me, I like to bring this little guy. This little guy right here keeps everything charged, and I'll link this below. It has so many hours. I can literally have this on for days, charging my iPad, my computer, my phone, my little internet pack, which I keep with me on the go. I love that thing. Definitely want to do that because when you're in the airport, you want Wi-Fi, and I just take mine with me with that, and I have my power source because people are sitting there fighting over the little plug-in. I bring a multiple plug-in, like a surge protector. I plug that in, and I can plug in my different electronics, and I'm only using one plug. And it's so brilliant to do that. Yes, definitely inhabitants of ATX use a power pack. That is a brilliant thing to do. And this one is huge. I mean, it's a big one, but it lasts a long time. I have little ones. I've got big ones. Also, those window seats, people are window seat people, some people are middle and aisle seat person. I like the window, personally, because, one, you can sleep on the window. Number two, you can look out. There's like an entertainment looking at the, different landscapes as we go by. So window seats are great, but sometimes they can cost a premium to get. So definitely, look if you get a window seat if you want to. The only thing is that if you have to go to the bathroom, you kind of have to crawl over people, and it's a very small space. So, yeah, you're going to invade other people's space to go if you have to go to the bathroom with that one, unless it's not a booked flight. But that's the great thing about it. If it's not a booked flight, which most flights in the early morning, the red-eyes, mid-morning, get booked more, the mid-afternoon section, right before the evening, are less packed. So if you can wait, most likely you can have the whole aisle to yourself. You can stretch out for your flight. And it might cost you a little less, too. So definitely check those, unless you're like, I have to get up there, I have to start off early, I have gone at 3 a.m. on a flight to get to my destination, so I understand. And I'll also, one thing is, if you're going to Europe, get an easy flight. Because what will happen is that you'll get on the plane, you'll eat your dinner, and then you can sit there and relax, go to sleep. So you'll be asleep for most of the flight. You wake up in the morning, you eat your breakfast, and you're landing. So you don't see that huge window of time because you're asleep, which was brilliant. I love that because I know I would have been, flying to Europe from Chicago to Europe was 8 or 9 hours. 8 or 9 hours. That's like driving from Dallas-Fort Worth to Corpus Christi. That's a long time to be sitting down, and there's only so many movies and so many books that you can entertain yourself in that time frame before you're just like, I got to get out of here. And me, I get claustrophobic. So I'm like, you're in a steel tube. Some people smell on airplanes. Some people chew, and everything. And you're just like, oh my gosh, I just want to get out of here. I just want some fresh air or something. So yes, go on a night flight. Save yourself some heartache. I personally, anything that is over 4 hours, I am going to go on a night flight so I can sleep. 4 hours, I usually try to sleep on the plane because I don't like to get claustrophobic or anything. If you sit on the plane's wing, you can experience less turbulence. And turbulence is where you feel like you're on a roller coaster. Woo! Depending on how much it is. It's like your stomach does that thing whenever you're on a roller coaster. It's very jarring. Wear comfortable shoes. I'm going to take off my shoe and I can show you what kind of shoe I use. Use a shoe that has no laces. I also have a pair of Skechers. Yeah, exactly. Use those because you can easily slip them on and slip them off. They're very comfortable. You can have comfortable flats. Don't wear heels. Hi, David Wheeler. How are you? Where are you watching us from? I would love to hear that. And if you have any travel tips, let me know. But wear comfortable shoes. Don't wear high heels. If your job requires you to wear high heels, pack those in your bag. Wear flats. Wear dress flats. And there is something called Tumi. They are a little bit pricey, but I mean, they look like they're really comfortable shoes. With that, they're like ballet flats. So wear ballet flats. Those are still business flats or loafers. Those are still business shoes. So if you're walking through the airport, but keep your heels in your bag, and when you land, get out, you can put those shoes on quite comfortably, your heels on, and then you look polished. So you definitely want to do that. Also, there's something called Hotel Tonight. It's an app that's available in Apple and also on Google Play. If you have to have a last-minute hotel, you go to Hotel Tonight, go on there, log into the app, and you can find discounted hotel rooms anywhere at the last minute. So you can save some money. Also, definitely look at Airbnb and things like that. I would recommend Airbnb, not at the last moment, but like pre-done. I did an Airbnb, in the Grand Cayman. That was so awesome because they actually let you use their vehicle, and also you stay at the house, and it was so home away is great too. And so what you could do is you can stay at the house, and it's like you're comfortable. You don't have to go to the hotel, the elevators and things. We were right on the beach, and we could buy groceries and cook our own food. And sometimes we went out. We saved a ton of money, so that's great. And we were able to house everyone. It was like a 2-story condo, so you could save money on your travel expenses. Now, when you travel to a foreign country or even to the Grand Cayman, they have something where they charge you for the sacks, like your grocery sacks. So a favor, in your check bag, have some grocery sacks. They don't take up a lot of space. One, you can put your sneakers in them, your dirty sneakers in those, and also dirty laundry in another one. And then you have those, and your dirty sneakers are not touching your clean clothes. Also, your dirty clothes are kind of in there, and you take them home and, basically do that. Also, they're great, insulate any items that Ziploc bags are great too. I always bring Ziplocs. I bring a whole box of Ziploc bags. I do the big ones, and I do the medium ones. And so what I do is with those Ziploc bags, I put a lot of things in those. Cell phone, oh my gosh, I love Ziploc bags. They are so great when you're traveling. And I'll actually do a video on all that there so you can see the details of that. But Ziploc bags are a lifesaver. But if you pack those little bags there, you can avoid the charge or pack your recycle bags. One, those can be used as tote bags and beach bags because you don't want fancy bags because fancy bags get stolen. Fancy bags get people pickpocketing. So don't do fancy bags. Designer bags in the airport? Yeah, let me tell you about that one. If you bring your Louis Vuitton, your Chanel bags, you are targeted by would-be thieves who are in the airport, who want to pickpocket you, who want to steal your items. If you carry really expensive, really nice luggage, as it's going in the back end there, people might actually steal from you or steal your bag whenever it's going out in that carousel. How many times have you seen people getting their bags stolen? No? I'm not saying you have to have ugly, ugly bags, but just have generic bags and purses. I personally do not carry a purse anymore. My backpack is my purse, big enough. I use like a little bag, like a small little bag, and that's my bag. I keep all my documents in there. I'll actually have a video on that so I can show you more details of that. But another thing you can do is that when you are in the airport, if you want free Wi-Fi, go to any of the lounges there, sit outside, and you can scam off their free internet. So also, if you put a specific code at the end of the password, you can actually code crack into the Wi-Fi and get Wi-Fi pretty much anywhere for free. So, and I'll list that below too. And if you want me to, I will actually do a video on that as well. So, what you want to do also to save money is that it's not necessarily to book flights early, but sometimes you can get really good deals booking your flights early, but sometimes you can get really good deals if you wait until the last moment. on there. So you kind of have to just kind of pick and choose your battles. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose on that battle. But if you can, book ahead. Make sure you do all those things. Order your meal. Make sure you prepare. And as you're getting closer to your departure day, be sure to items aside that you're going to be using. Don't overpack, because I'm notorious for overpacking. Notorious. I call myself the notorious overpacker. But my father is actually beaten because you don't need everything in the kitchen. I'll actually do more videos on that on my YouTube channel. But I can see here now it's 9:56, so I'm going to wrap up this show for another time. If you have any topics or subjects you want me to talk about, I will be giving more business tips next week on marketing and how to take your business to the next level. Right now, today was more about bullying, about a travel tip, because we are traveling right now. Be safe when you're traveling. Keep your eyes and wits about you, because there are pickpocketers. There are people who do want to steal from you. That is unfortunate. If you see suspicious activity when you're in the airport, make sure you tell somebody. Let that person handle that. Don't be the one to handle that. Flying is really is a privilege to fly, and you got to follow their rules. If you get the TSA pre-check, it's going to cost you $85, but it's good for 5 years, and you can actually breathe through an accelerated line, and actually you won't have to take your shoes off, you won't have to take your liquids out, and you won't have to take your computer out or take your belt off. You literally just whiz past, because you have to, several days probably about a week or two before your flight, you have to go through an hour-long screening process where they do a serious background check on you to make sure that you're trustworthy. So once you get that card and you can show them, hey, I am TSA approved, you will whiz past security. I mean, boom, boom, boom. So as those poor people are taking off their shoes and putting their hands up and doing the whole, Xeroxing themselves, you will literally whiz through as a VIP. Also, don't be afraid that if, you have some special needs or you have a child, you need some extra assistance, tell personnel, because, they could help you with that. When my grandmother was traveling, she needed a wheelchair. So we had to tell the airlines ahead of time she needed a wheelchair. And they took her to the gate, and they actually took her onto the flight. If you're taking a pet, if you have a service animal, you're going with a service animal, you have to let the airline know ahead of time. You just can't show up out of the blue and say, oh, he's a service animal, got to let him on, because they need to know for weight, and they also need to know for the capacity of the plane. They need to know who's coming on board, and that includes your pet. So let them know that you are bringing a service animal, because if you're traveling with a service animal internationally, you might have to show them documents saying that this animal has the proper shot record and things like that. Also, if you're traveling with a service animal, you want to make sure that the airline knows, so that they can prepare and say, okay, this animal is going to be out in line. Now, service animals must be well behaved. But I will talk to you about that another time. My name is Kasy with Simply Kasy on ARM Radio, aired in over 60 countries worldwide. And I will see you next Wednesday at 10 p.m. And so long for now. Bye-bye now.
Thank you for listening to Simply Kasy on ARMED Radio, aired in over 60 countries worldwide. Tune in next week on Wednesday at 10 p.m. Eastern for our newest show. Thank you for watching Simply Kasy. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.